Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the WD Broadcasting Network. Tonight we are back with the Leave the Pack Gauntlet series at the Hickory Motor Speedway, ready for race 7 of 8 on the season. We have 10 ARCA cars ready to go for 125 laps of action. Did not get as big of a field as we expected, but we're going to see some great racing. Got a lot of competitive cars throughout the field. Qualifying, getting set to roll off. First driver out on the track. It looks like Brandon Elvis in the number 4 machine here this week in the ARCA car. Down into turns 1 and 2. Little sideways there, has to hang on to it, and that was what I was just going to say. You're going to have to be very careful with the right foot here tonight. We'll see what Elvis can do on his second time around. Brandon Atkinson, a 14:41. That's the quickest so far. Elvis out of turns 3 and 4. He'll go a 14:40, and he will top that lap set by Brandon Atkinson. Atkinson very close. Zach Murphy in the 29, third quick on his first lap. You can hear these cars really screaming through the RPMs up off the corner. Murphy a little sideways across the line. Loops it down into 1 and 2. He'll stay third quick. Looking at the point standings, just 16 points separate Brandon Atkinson and Brandon Elvis. After tonight, we will be able to really dive into what it's going to take next week for one of those two drivers to lock up the championship. This qualifying just about wrapped up. Easton Swain in the 33 machine getting ready to take his lap. And he will go just about quicker than Brandon Elvis. A 14:41 is out of 4. May have scraped the wall that time. He'll slow it down on lap number 2. But a good lap there from Swain. Currently second. We've got 2 cars left to go. Adam Fulford in the 71, fourth quick on his first time around. Down through the bumps in 3 and 4. Got a little sideways there. He's able to hold on to it, but he'll stay in the 4th spot. And man, none of these drivers really look comfortable in those cars. And these are very different than anything we've seen so far this season. I know last week we were in the street stocks, but that is not comparable to how much these guys are going to be sliding around in the ARCA car here tonight. As you saw Deweese right there, 5th quick on his second lap, but definitely had a shove out of 4. It's going to be a battle of attrition here tonight. Who can keep the car pointed in the right direction the longest? It's definitely not going to be an easy race. And we're going to have strategy thrown in too. For the first time this season, these guys are going to have a set of tires on pit road when they would like to use it. Adam Fulford getting some final practice laps in. You can never be too comfortable in the car when you're getting ready for the feature. As he does finally pull it pit side. So far this season, in 6 races, we have had only one repeat winner, and that was Brandon Elvis. First picked up the victory in the SK mod, and then picked up the victory in the late model stock. But 5 different winners in 6 races. Most recent, last week, Brandon Atkinson picked up win number 1 on the season in the street stocks. So we'll see what they can do here tonight. It is time to go down trackside to our starting grid. We're going to have 10 cars bringing us to the green. I believe everybody is just about ready to go. It'll be a 125 lap shootout here. 1 set of tires in the pits. But let's meet our starting field. Brandon Elvis in the 54 going to roll off on the pole. Or sorry, the 4 machine rather. Easton Swain in the 33 going to start to his outside. On the inside of row number 2 in the 15 machine, he's your points leader and most recent winner in the Leave the Pack Gauntlet series. That is Brandon Atkinson. Adam Fulford in the 71 going to start 4th on the outside. The number 8 machine of Braxton DeWeese going to start from the 5th spot here in the ARCA series. He'll have the 29 of Zach Murphy to his outside, starting from the 6th spot. Ryman Castle in the number 6 machine here this evening, going to start from P7. He'll have Xavier King making his first Leave the Pack start into the number 84 to his outside. Then rounding out our field, the final row, row number 5, James Pileski on the bottom in the number 93 machine, and starting shotgun on the field in the number 8 machine, it's going to be Trey Ashworth. As I believe we are just about ready to roll. DeWeese in the 8 machine joins the field, and the pace car is going to move any second now. We are going to send this field green for 125 laps of action. We'll see who can take the victory. Your top 4 all very close on lap times. Let's look at the laps from qualifying, just to see how close everybody really was. Only 5 1,000ths of a second separated Elvis and Swain. But all the way back to Ryman Castle, everybody was in the same 1/10 of a second. So a very close field. We're going to have to see what they can do here. Everybody getting a lot of heat in the tires. You don't want to come to green without heat in these tires. So we'll see how they go down into turns 1 and 2 through the restart zone. The green is out, and we are underway in the ARCA series at the Hickory Motor Speedway. Down the back straightaway for the first time, Brandon Elvis going to take the early advantage down into turns 3 and 4. Meanwhile, Atkinson and Swain side by side for second. Atkinson on the bottom, Swain up top. They've got DeWeese and Fulford back behind them as well. A 6-car breakaway here to start things off. 2 laps in, the 4 machine continues to lead. Atkinson in the 15. Looks like he will take the advantage for the 2nd spot on the inside lane. That'll move Easton Swain back to 3rd. Into the clutches of Braxton DeWeese in the 8 machine. DeWeese going to pull alongside. He'll try to find his way up onto the podium here early. They continue to battle side by side there, and it's going to be tough to battle alongside another driver here this evening because the car is going to get tight, and there's not a lot of room to really let it float. So these guys are going to have to do a great job of holding on to their race cars. So right now we are 6 laps into this one. DeWeese still working to the inside of Swain for the 3rd spot. Atkinson right there in the back bumper of Elvis as well. He'd like to go back-to-back and become the second driver with multiple wins this season. Everybody's single file out front here throughout your top 7. All in a line right there. Elvis out front puts lap 10 up on the board. He would love to pick up his 3rd win of the season. He's trying to track down Atkinson in the points as well. So every spot he can get over that 15 machine is going to pay dividends next week when we crown a champion. Look at the run. The 15 got up off the corner that time. I'm starting to think he may want that lead from the 4 machine of Elvis. It'll be 12 laps in this time. Now I'm interested to see how the strategy is going to work in this race because we've only got 10 cars on the racetrack. Your top 8 are all under a blanket right here, nose to tail. And the chances of us seeing a caution are going to be lower than, say, a normal leave the pack race with the car count we've got and the ARCA cars that we're dealing with. I'm interested to see if anybody takes tires maybe earlier than we would normally think. Maybe a lap 40, a lap 50 caution, somewhere before halfway. Maybe a bold strategy predicting that we don't get another caution. But that's assuming we get a caution to begin with. We could go green to checkered all 125 laps. I almost jinxed it there. Xavier King had some trouble down the back straightaway. I think he's got it all sorted out there, but he went off of the racetrack there for a moment. Gonna lose some ground. Pileski in the 93 underneath Murphy. It's for the 6th spot up in front of them. Adam Fulford looking to the outside of Braxton DeWeese. How about that? The 71 machine trying out the 2nd groove here early on. Going to take away the 4th spot 20 laps in. And that's going to be something we're going to have to keep an eye on. We've seen the outside lane this season really come into play, especially as we've gotten into cars with maybe a little bit more horsepower. And oh, the caution flag flies. Not sure what the cause of it was there. I think James Pileski may have been contact. You can see the 93 a little bit sideways right there. Oh, and it looked like the 77 of Ryman Castle got in a little bit too hot. And that's going to put us under caution for the first time here tonight. So we're 23 laps in. And that will put us under caution for the first time. Your top 5 is Brandon Elvis, Brandon Atkinson, Easton Swain, Adam Fulford, and Braxton DeWeese. Should be getting the 2 to go signal here. We'll send them back just shy of 100 laps to go. Alrighty, so they get the 1 to go signal. Light to drop on the iRacing.com pace car. Brandon Elvis going to take the outside lane here. Does not want to give up the top side down into turns 1 and 2. We work our way down into the restart zone. A big jump there from the 4 machine. Caught the 15 of Brandon Atkinson sleeping there a little bit. Do gotta jump in and clear Ryman Castle's black flag just real quick. Hate to put that on the screen for you guys, but wanted to make sure Ryman had a fair competitive experience out there. Deweese to the inside of Murphy, going to jump back up inside of the top 5. So we get back to single file racing here. Adam Fulford in the 71 takes advantage of that restart. Gets up into the 3rd position. He's looked pretty sporty here early on. We're only 30 laps in, but the laps are going to tick away quickly. We're still inside of the 15 seconds. So Fulford's going to be able to potentially work his way up here if he can maintain this speed. We saw him pass Deweese on the outside. We saw him get around Swain on the outside on that restart. He's found something up there. We'll have to keep an eye on what he can do throughout the race. On board with Brandon Atkinson right here. You can hear him really slow rolling into the throttle. You do not want to get on it too hot and spin the rear tires as he does just a little bit right there, up out of 2. You have to be very delicate driving these ARCA cars, especially on the short tracks. It's just such a boaty car compared to what you're used to in a late model or a modified something that we're used to seeing here on the WD Broadcasting Network. So we see Adam Fulford kind of moving up the racetrack a little bit. Easton Swain thinking about taking a peek underneath, but just unable to find a run up off the corner. Elvis out of 4 that time, 38 laps into the books. He's got Atkinson all over the rear bumper. You see that 15 machine peeking through the center of the corner. Just kind of biding his time. He knows that he doesn't necessarily have to make this move right away, but when it comes time to make those pit stops, it would be pretty clutch to have that track position out front. As we see Braxton Deweese down underneath Easton Swain. That's for the 4th spot on the racetrack. Deweese not going to be able to get the run on the bottom. And from what we've seen so far, passing is going to be very tough here tonight. You're going to have to be nearly alongside the driver to your outside as we see another big lunge from Deweese here. It's just hard to get that car rotated up off the corner as the 8 machine slides through the center right there. Now Murphy's going to have a shot to look to the outside lane. He's going to lose a ton of ground there. And that's kind of the part that sucks with all these drivers being so close, is that if you try to make a move and maybe push a little bit too hard, you're going to have somebody right there ready to pounce and maybe pass you for the spot that you're in right now. So these guys have to be on their toes and have to be as consistent as they can. Right now, Elvis doing a good job out front. He is led from the drop of the green flag. He's just been hitting his marks. He's had Brandon Atkinson filling up his rear view mirror, but so far he's held the 15 at bay. Is now the 33 of Swain and Fulford battle for the third spot. Oh, Swain into the inside of Fulford in the 71. He's going to lose a spot there. Swain got in a little bit too hot on the bottom side. They slid up the racetrack. Luckily, both of them were able to hang on to it. But Swain lost the fourth spot. He may be at risk of losing fifth from Murphy here. All this happening behind your race leaders. Adam Fulford currently runs third. DeWeese fourth. And Swain and Murphy continue to battle for that fifth spot as we are 50 laps in to this 125 lap affair. Looks like Swain going to be able to clear the 29 of Murphy. He'll hang on to that fifth spot. And Xavier King goes around out of 4. That is going to bring out the caution flag. The 84 machine went for a slide. I don't know if he was running near anybody. Wrong button there. Let's try it again to see what happened to the 84. It looked like similar to what we saw happen to the 33 when he was battling with Adam Fulford. Just got in a little bit too hot down into 3, and the back end came around. Luckily, he spun down to the bottom, and I don't think he hit the inside tire right there, and everybody was able to avoid. So now the caution flag comes out, and the tires are going on these race cars. So now it's time to see what strategy call wins this race. The field's going to get the 1 to go signal this time. DeWeese and Castle have not taken tires. They are your top 2. They'll head down the back straightaway here. And into turns 3 and 4, the pace car drops to the bottom side. They head back through the restart zone. Your front 2 don't have fresh tires, and the rest of the field back behind them does. Ryman Castle way up the racetrack down into the turns 1 and 2. I think he knew that he did not have the tire to maybe keep up with some of those guys. And Trey Ashworth goes around out of 4. Puts us back under caution quickly after we were green for a short while there. Let's take a look at what happened to Trey Ashworth. I think he may have just lost the car down into 3 as well. I don't think there was any contact necessarily with Easton Swain. Let's look one more time. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, just got a little bit squirrely going down into the corner and looped the rear end of the race car. Luckily, once again, nobody else involved. He was able to get it back rolling. We are just about shy of the halfway point. Deweese is your leader. Elvis was able to jump up to the second spot on that restart. Adam Fulford third. Zach Murphy fourth. And the lights drop on the iRacing.com pace car. They'll double up one more time. We're going to get ready to send them back racing. We've had 3 caution flags so far. Deweese is the leader. Elvis 2 is outside. The pace car drops to the inside one more time, and through the restart zone they go. We're back racing at Hickory. Good jump down into turns 1 and 2 for both of your front 2 cars. Deweese going to try to hold his own on the bottom, but Elvis on that outside lane very strong on those 4 fresh tires. It's the 4 of Elvis. Comes back out front. Ooh, there's contact back behind. Pileski in the 93 machine. Was squirrely on the front stretch there. I think everybody was able to keep it pointed in the right direction. But Elvis going to be clear for the race lead. Move Deweese to the second spot. He'll jump up to the outside lane. We are past the halfway point. "65 laps in. There will be 60 to go for Brandon Elvis. Here comes Easton Swain to the inside of Braxton Deweese in the 8 machine. Here's the difference between those new and old tires. Swain able to get by right there. Here comes Pileski as well, trying to work his way up into the top 5. Big save there from Murphy. As things start to calm down up at the front. Brandon Elvis, your race leader in the 4 machine. I don't know whether or not he took 2 or 4 tires. His pit stop was a little bit quicker than Adam Fulford and Brandon Atkinson's back behind him. So I think it may be safe to say Elvis may have gambled and took 2 tires. We're 70 laps in. And oh, that 4 machine's a little bit sideways out front. Here comes Brandon Atkinson to the bottom. Fulford had nowhere to go. And Brandon Atkinson is going to sneak by to take the race lead down into turns 3 and 4. Brandon Elvis was out front. And just all of a sudden the rear end came out from behind him in turns 3 and 4. He had to jump off the throttle and try to hang on to that thing. Fulford had nowhere to go back behind him. We keep it rolling here. But the lead has changed hands. Now what I'm really curious to see is if we get another caution here before the end of this race. We've got 50 laps to go. If we get another caution, one of these drivers, actually a couple of these drivers, have tires in the pits, so this could be interesting to see some late tire calls if we get another caution. Atkinson, your leader. Swain second. Elvis third. Fulford sitting in the 4th spot. James Pileski 5th. That last time, Easton Swain gained about a 10th on your race leader, Brandon Atkinson. Might be starting to close in just a little bit and put that pressure on the 15. This time by, it is 40 to go. Sorry, 45 to go. Atkinson's lead about 3 car lengths down into turns 3 and 4. How about the battle heating up for the 3rd spot? Fulford in the 71. Big run to the inside. Elvis up top. Going to try to fight back on the outside lane, but it looks like he will have to give that spot back to Adam Fulford, moving back to 3rd. He'll try to charge forward here. And oh, the caution flag comes out. Trey Ashworth around on the front straightaway. Did not quite catch what happened right there. But let's see, down into turns 3 and 4. He's on that outside lane, and you can see, I think the back end of the car may have stepped out down on the bottom. It looks like he was able to keep it out of the wall. Everybody else was able to avoid. So that'll shuffle things up here. Brandon Elvis in the 4 machine coming back down pit road. And let's see what tires he is getting on that machine. Looks like left's going on the 54. So I think he tried to take 2. He may have established that was not the move. DeWeese going to take 4 tires. I think everybody else back behind going to follow with a 4-tire stop. So Atkinson is your leader. Easton Swain 2nd. Adam Fulford 3rd. James Pileski 4th. Trey Ashworth 5th. Elvis 6th. DeWeese 7th. Castle 8th. King 9th, and 10 is the 29 of Zach Murphy. So we get back ready to go racing. Through the restart zone they go. Green flag is back out, and we are back underway. Good run for Brandon Atkinson down through turns 1 and 2. And here comes Adam Fulford to the inside of Easton Swain. Swain gets a good run on the outside lane. He'll take over the 2nd spot. How about James Pileski in the 93 machine? Up inside of the top 5. He's got Brandon Elvis in the 4 machine to his inside. Braxton DeWeese in the 8 back behind him. Elvis on the bottom, gonna pull ahead of the 93 of Pileski. Looks like he will take that spot. Castle in the 77 gonna try to follow on the bottom. Braxton DeWeese in the 8 machine. Also gonna try to follow through there. And is there enough time for some of these drivers that got tires on that last pit stop? Is there enough time for them to drive up and make something happen here? There's 30 laps to go. And around goes James Pileski, just about right in front of him. Xavier King goes around. I think that might be the night for the 84 machine. Tough break. But around they go, and up front, here comes the 4 of Elvis. Man, that 71 machine is all kinds of sideways here in this second half. He's having a hard time getting that thing up off the corner. Just about contact there with DeWeese in the 8 machine. And look at the outside lane go here. These ARCA cars at Hickory are putting on a heck of a show. We've got 25 laps to go. Atkinson leads by about a second. DeWeese to the inside of Elvis. The 8 machine's got 4 fresh tires. After that restart, is there enough time here? Through turns 1 and 2. They're about even. It looks like that 4 machine's able to get enough of a run on the outside lane to stay there and pull ahead. Ooh, there's contact down the front stretch. DeWeese in the 8. Ooh, pushes him out just a little bit. And he will take that spot. We go back down into 1 and 2. Elvis going to try to cut back down to the bottom. Not going to be able to do it. We've got 21 laps to go. And does Braxton DeWeese have enough time? He's running a little bit quicker than Brandon Atkinson, but Atkinson's got one heck of a lead built up over that number 8 machine. Look a little further back. Adam Fulford has fallen all the way back to the 7th spot after we saw him battling for 3rd. Tires have gone away on the 71. We've got 17 to go for the 15 of Brandon Atkinson. Trying to pick up the victory in back-to-back weeks with the Leave the Pack Gauntlet Series. Be his 2nd of the season. His time by 15 to go for the number 15. He leads by a second. DeWeese is starting to close the gap to Swain. Meanwhile, here comes Zach Murphy to the inside of Brandon Elvis. He's going to take over the 4th spot with 14 laps to go. DeWeese definitely getting a little bit closer to Easton Swain as they come back to 11 laps to go. I don't think he's going to have enough time to get to Atkinson, at least not without any help. But he may be able to get up to Easton Swain and take that second spot away. We'll just have to watch with 10 laps to go. Make it 9 to go for Brandon Atkinson. And that time by, he was the fastest car on the racetrack, so the lap times have started to even out between him and Braxton Deweese. But the time is running out. If Deweese wants that second spot from Swain, he's going to have to put some pressure on here with 7 to go. Through 3 and 4. You can see Deweese is trying to cut it down and get the big run down the straightaway. Swain's doing a good job of carrying his momentum through the entire corner. We come back to 5 laps to go. Deweese is definitely there now. Looking to the inside of Easton Swain. Swain going to shut the door. Sideways is the 33 down into 1 and 2. And Deweese is going to slide right on by. He'll say thank you very much, coming back to 3 laps to go. Swain tried to put up the fight right there, but Deweese was able to get right through. And now it'll be 2 laps to go for Brandon Atkinson. Final 2 laps around the Hickory Motor Speedway in this boat of a car, the ARCA machine. Final time around, white flag for Brandon Atkinson. He won last week in the Street Stock Showdown here at the Hickory Motor Speedway. He's going to do it 2 weeks in a row. Your points leader goes back-to-back and wins in the ARCA Series at Hickory. Deweese comes home second, Easton Swain third. Zach Murphy comes home in the 4th spot. Brandon Elvis 5th. Ryman Castle 6th. Adam Fulford 7th. James Pileski 8th. Xavier King 9th. And Trey Ashworth rounds out your field in the 10th spot. We're going to grab a word from our top 3 finishers. We'll start with Easton Swain first. We'll see if we can get him up in the broadcast booth. Easton Swain up into the broadcast booth here tonight. 3rd place finish here in the ARCA Series. How do you feel after 125 laps at Hickory? All right, we're going to try it again. We've got Easton Swain up here in the booth. They can hear you now. How do you feel after 125 laps?
Phew, like I said, man, I am a little bit wore out, not going to lie. But it feels good to be back in the broadcast booth. It's been quite a while since I've talked to you.
Yeah, it's definitely been a bit here. I'm trying to think of when the last time I talked to you was. Probably... You've got one this season, haven't you?
I had 2 top 3s the first 2 races.
Yeah, I was going to say, we started off the season, but we've had a dry spell there. Glad to see you back up on the podium. What was the key to this race? It looked very tricky out here. We saw a couple guys lose the rear end of the race cars. What was the key here tonight in the ARCA cars?
It really just seemed like track position. I tried to get under Adam. I'm sure you got that on broadcast. I thought I was clearly faster than him, but it was just so hard to get the power down, and if you got in there a little too hot, you get loose under the guy. Really kind of got lucky. Felt like I said, I was faster than maybe the 71 and just as quick as the guys in front of me, but they kind of got tangled up there, them and Brandon Elvis, and I was able to get around them and hold on to P3.
Yeah, it was definitely a solid result. Started in the second spot here tonight, ended up P3. All in all, a good night for the 33 machine here in the ARCA cars. Who do you have to thank for another podium in the Gauntlet Series?
First and foremost, got to thank the good Lord for putting us here and for you broadcasting this and doing this league. I'm looking forward to running the finale here and getting into the Super Series. And then, I don't know if you noticed, but got to thank my pit crew here. They did a great job after I missed my pit box.
Yeah, it's always good to be able to throw it in reverse. I used to have a big problem, especially when I ran more NASCAR races. I missed my pit box more than I hit my pit box, so I definitely know that feeling. I'm glad you were able to recover for a good third place run, Easton.
Thank you, Winston. It's been fun.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, folks, that was your third place finisher here tonight, Easton Swain. Now we'll grab a word from our second place finisher, Braxton Nuis. Up in the booth. Braxton, you got a copy?
I got you.
Alrighty, well, second place finish here tonight. You started in the 5th spot. It looked like that 8 machine had some speed all night long, played the strategy a little bit different, waited to take those tires. Just looked like he may have ran out of time there, Atkinson, was a little bit too far out there at the end.
Yeah, for sure. I thought it was a little early personally to pit. Now, I know we didn't have many laps left, but they had about 70-some laps. And I was like, you know what? I think there's going to be another caution just the way the car has been loose. And, we would get a pretty good run, but then there'd be one little caution. So, I was kind of banking for that caution, and about 40 laps to go, it came out. So that was honestly pretty good. The only thing is that there was no cautions after that. But, we made it work to go from 6th to 2nd there. And, if we would have got a caution there, if we were in 3rd or 2nd, I definitely felt like it would have gave us an opportunity. Would we have been able to do something with it? We'll never know. It started to even out there a lot at the end as the run went on. I don't know if the tire advantage would have been a little bit better as they cooled off if we would have gotten a restart, but I definitely would have tried my best. I wouldn't have moved them really or anything. If anything, it just would have been a little tap if I had the opportunity. I'm not one to really use the bumper to pass anybody, or even if it's for a win. I don't know. I try to do it as clean as I can. I try to be like a Mark Martin the best I can. Try to, race with respect and try to gain respect that way. So, hopefully we have gained a little bit of respect from these fellas this year, other than our shifter messing up and a little bit of the blinking. I know it sounds bad, me saying my shifter messing up and I'm blaming it, but it actually has messed up. I can hear it sometimes, like the USB thing, the sound it makes on the computer, it'll unplug and plug back in sometimes when I'm racing, which is unfortunate. But I'm looking at a new shifter. I'm going to get that hopefully over the winter, but nonetheless, 2nd place is still pretty good with what we had dealt there.
Yeah, it's definitely a good result for what we had. I think you had the perfect strategy call for a 150 lap race. If we had 150 laps right there, I think you would have been able to track him down. The times did even out, but with one caution there, it would have definitely been an interesting race, like you said, between you and Atkinson there at the end. But still a good run, 2nd place, nothing to hang your head about, especially starting in the 5th spot here tonight. You worked your way forward. So who do you have to thank, Braxton, for another podium here in the Gauntlet Series?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely the Happy Hippie Karaoke on the car. They're usually doing karaoke at Good Time Charlie's in downtown Miamisburg, in the town I'm from 9 to 12 a.m. on Mondays and Thursdays usually. You can follow Joshua Coates on Facebook, and you can follow Good Time Charlie's on Facebook, and they'll be posting when they're going to be doing the karaoke. So I appreciate them, as well as Interstate Ford, 3 Dips Ice Cream Shop, Allen's Arts Images, Steak Time, Dewey's Renovations, Elevated TV, WD Broadcasting. You came on board. We put the sticker on the Roadster, and we gained some time, man. I tell you what, that sticker helped me, so I appreciate that. Elevated TV, like I said, they're going to be unfortunately closing down, but nonetheless, they're still doing some events. But Paid Leave as well, Wood Nickel Band, Short Truck Report, Scrubbing Tires Media, Evan Pineda Designs, Winston, you made my super late model I'm going to be running tomorrow, so I appreciate you for that. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully we can run well. I'm doing the super late model tour at New Smyrna for 200 laps at 4 Eastern Time. And also big shout out to Our Pizza over there in Winchester, Indiana for helping sponsor the Roadster Series when we race at Winchester. But we got one race left, and I'll be racing that super late model you made in that one as well. So hopefully we can be one spot better and get our second win of the year to end it out. That'd be a nice way to end it out and go into the Super Series, man, with the super late models. That'd be good.
Yeah, it definitely would be a good way to go out. It'd be good to build some momentum, and yeah, that super definitely looks good. The blue is gonna shine here at Hickory next week. Hopefully you can have a good run with it and maybe put it in victory lane. But we will talk to you next week, Braxton. Congratulations to you on your second place run here tonight.
Yep, I appreciate it, Winston. Take care, man.
Yes, sir. All right, now we will talk to our winner here tonight. Bring him up into the broadcast booth. Up into the broadcast booth, my teammate from Sunday, the winner here tonight, Brandon Atkinson. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, Winston. I wish we had half the luck last weekend that we did tonight, but I'm going to take it. It was a super fun race. Fun racing with Adam and Elvis and Easton and all them guys. I was a little worried a few times, but luck went my way, and we were able to sneak through and get another one. So it was really fun, though.
Yeah, that was definitely a fun one to watch. You and Fulford getting up to Elvis, man. He was really working to get around Elvis, and it looked like you kind of just snuck through right at the perfect opportunity. Made for a fun race, and definitely was cool seeing the ARCA cars here at Hickory. I don't know if I've ever seen them ran here, so it was definitely fun to watch them. Nobody looked comfortable all race long, and that definitely made for some fun racing from the booth. But another victory for the 15 machine. Your second in a row in the Gauntlet series. You're starting to figure it out. Is it Hickory, or are you just good in these cars? What is it?
Well, I always love the track. You know, I raced here in real life a handful of times and had good success as well. But I'm definitely better in the cars where you don't have to use as much momentum and you have a little bit more power, and you pick your line right and be nice on the throttle, and usually you can be there at the end. So it's a little mixture of both, and the cars coming around are kind of favoring me a little bit more. So it was nice to stay consistent through them cars that I'm not the best at. So then when I could get to these cars where I'm a little more comfortable in, I could try to turn it up a little bit, and luckily we've been able to do that.
Yeah, it definitely helps to build a good points base early in the season. That way when you get to these cars you're a little bit more confident in, you have that those points ahead going forward. You don't have to come from behind. But even if you were coming from behind, you've put together a pretty good run these past 2 weeks. We've got one race left this season. We've got super late models next week. Do you think you can go 3 for 3 to close out the season?
Well, I don't know about 3 for 3. Hopefully the setup's not too tight. Wink, wink, Winston. As long as we can keep that right front cool and under us, and heading forward, I'm cool with a top 3 or a nice consistent finish. But either way, we're gonna try to be up there towards the end and see if we can snag one again or not.
Alrighty, well, it was a great race for the 15 machine here tonight. We've got one left, but before I let you go, who do you have to thank, Brandon, for your victory here tonight?
Yeah, thank everyone at Skyline, Dan, CP, John, all them guys. Thank you for putting this on and broadcasting it as well. It's been really fun. And thanks to all the guys that have been racing in the series as well. I haven't had a single issue with anybody, and clean racing throughout all these 5 races. So it's been a really good time and a good change. So I appreciate it.
Well, Brandon, it's been good talking to you. Congratulations to you on your victory here tonight, and we wish you luck in the final race of the season next week.
Thank you, Winston. Have a good one.
Yep, you too. Alrighty, folks, that was your winner here tonight, Brandon Atkinson. We'll grab a word, we'll look at our finishing results. Let's look at the finishing results, not qualifying. There we go. Try it again. Atkinson is your winner. DeWeese second. Easton Swain third. Those are the three we just talked to. Zach Murphy comes home with the 4th spot. Good finish for the 29. Brandon Elvis recovers in the 4 machine. Comes home 5th. Ryman Castle 6th. Adam Fulford 7th. James Pileski 8th. Xavier King 9th. And Trey Ashworth rounds out your field in the 10th spot. So that is going to do it for us here tonight, folks. Thank you for watching the WD Broadcasting Network. Hopefully it was not too boring. I know there was only 10 cars out there this evening. Hopefully we can get some more back for the Super next week in the season finale. But we've got the Super Series season coming up after that. That's going to be an exciting one you are not going to want to miss. Starting up December 2nd. We're going to take a little bit off, but we will be back better than ever with Leave the Pack Super Series Season 2, December 2nd. I am your host, Winston Deal, signing it off from the WD Broadcasting Network. Once again, thank you guys for watching. Follow us on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Instagram and TikTok as well. Check out the shop. It is the first link in the video description. We got hats, hoodies, shirts, etc. Check out that if you would like to support the WD Broadcasting Network. But until next week, I am your host, once again, Winston Deal, signing it off. Y'all take it easy.